Little housekeeping. If this is your first time on the call, we do use the chat, but not that many people go in there. But if you really do have a question, you want to put it in the chat. I always appreciate when people are actually on the Zoom. We now know that because we're live streaming this on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube, that a lot of people are consuming it that way. Also, again, I know I keep giving props to Kevin Lechko, loan officer, but great idea. All of these are also audio podcasts now. So you can go back wherever you consume your podcasts. It's Josh, The Big Joel Show, I think. The Big Joel Show, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you catch your podcasts, everything is there. Okay, I think we have all time zones on today. Want to welcome everyone. Housekeeping, first of all, there will be no Big Joel phone call in 2 weeks on November 11th. We'll resume 2 weeks after that. I will be on a plane. I am taking my little guy to a Rams game in SoFi, so I will be on a plane on the way back. That's courtesy of Michael Most, who is going to the game and letting us sit in his awesome seats on the 30-yard line, second row. So I'll be on a plane on that Monday. So, but we will resume right after. The last benefactor of that is none other than Mr. David Lazowski, who's on the call right now, who took me and the little guy to a Pats game at Gillette in a box. That was awesome. That was his first NFL game. This will be his second one. So with that said, we got a special guest today, Mr. John Hodgkins, coming in hot out of Hartford, Connecticut. And we're going to chat for a little bit today just about the market, about doing more purchase units, about referrals from agents, all those things that you all know. A tiny bit of just, I don't want to call it wisdom, but I think most people on this call are pretty pumped up in general. I've had today, Thursday, Friday, and Monday, all of my one-on-one calls, every single loan officer that I spoke to, every one of them said to me, Joel, I'm getting a little action, man. It's really starting to pick up a little bit here. And the people I spoke to this morning, all of them, the minimum was, hey, I got 3 or 4 contracts over the weekend. Now, a couple of things are going on. Number one, people are settling in to where the rates are. Those of you old people on the call, there's a couple of us on here, know that, it is possible to write 25, 30 loans a month, even at 10% 30-year fixed, when people want to buy and sell houses, which they do. One of the things I'm seeing, I was in Boulder, Colorado this week, and I was at dinner with a whole bunch of top producing agents with a guy named Brian Manning, loan officer named Brian Manning. And, we were talking about inventory, and we were talking about sort of buyer and seller sentiment. And I want to ask John Hodgkins about this in a second. We were talking about that. And, I firmly believe that what's going to happen here is we're going to get a little bump down in rates. I don't mean a bump down in rates that's going to create a refi market. I don't think that's going to happen. But we're going to get just enough for the media to jump up and down and go crazy about it. We know there's demand. We know that people want to buy. There's over 4 million people that want to buy a house right now, but they have their own the rates are too high. Oh, the houses are too high. I want to wait for them to come down. I'll tell you what, this is recorded, so you all can either tell me I was wrong or we can laugh about this later. What's going to happen is everyone is going to come off the fence at the same time. If they drop the rates, maybe 1%, 3/4, 7/8, 1 1/8, something like that. People are all over the map. If it gets into the 5s, high 5s, everyone is going to come off the fence and start writing contracts. And then know what's going to happen? All looky-loos waiting for the prices to drop, that is no longer going to happen. Because now when you have 10 or 12 people wanting to buy the same house again, we all know what happens. Boom, the price goes right back up. And right now, I'm sure all of you all are seeing high appraisals. So we know we have the value there. So that house that's listed for $500 right now, that might go for $500 with $20,000 seller concession, or maybe $480 or $490 with seller concessions, it's going to go right back up where it was, and all the looky-loos are going to be standing there waiting because they should have gotten off the stick and done something. Now I'm about to ask John Hodgkins this. So a lot of brokers, real estate brokers, broker owners, I talk to these people all the time. These are people that own these offices, are telling me that they are dismayed and that their people are losing potential deals because they're not qualified. They don't know how to answer a question of, oh, the houses are too high, or the rates are too high, or whatever it is. They are literally not qualified to answer that question, can't answer it. And what's happening is the potential buyers or sellers are vaporizing and disappearing. I'm a firm believer that it is our job to teach them what to do, or to literally do it for them and with them. I've been telling agents for the past month and a half, buy an egg timer. If you're still on the phone with your new client within 90 seconds, you're doing it wrong, because they should be on the phone with their lender immediately within 90 seconds. Mm-hmm. Let you all do the pencil selling. Let you all overcome the rate objection. Let you all overcome the objections that have to do with finances. So I got John Hodgkins on here, guaranteed rate, Hartford, Connecticut. Sometimes they screw it up. His office is really in West Hartford, which is really not Hartford, but it's close to Hartford, but it has the same name, Connecticut. Been in the business 20 years. John is tracking right now. It's closer to 300, between 280, 300 purchase units closed this year. John, what's your average loan amount? You like a 280 guy, 300 to go up a little? What is it?
Yeah, right in between 280 and 300, right on, Joel.
Okay, so call it 290 average loan amount. So John is a unit banger. We all know units are where it's at, because that's a lot more happy clients to give you more loans. Full disclosure, John and I do work together one-on-one, so I'm very familiar with the way his business is set up. And that's why I like to put guys like him on here, because I know that he is doing stuff the right way. So, John, welcome to the call. How you doing?
Good, Joel.
You got your sweatpants ready for the next 2 days? You got elastic working?
The stretch are ready to go, Joe.
I'm taking 18 to 20 of my one-on-one sort of elite people that I work with to New Orleans. There's Patty, birthday girl, to New Orleans tomorrow. And we're going to be there for a couple of days. We will work a little, but there's going to be a lot of food consumed. John, talk to me about the agents. What are you seeing in your market? Are you seeing what I was just talking about, or are you seeing the agents? I mean, I think, John, just look at the people you work with closely. How many of them have been in the business more than 15 years?
I mean, we're talking 15 years. I mean, we're talking less than a third. 30%.
Less than a third.
Yeah.
Okay. And I bet you're being generous there, even in a third. I think it's less from watching the hands go up. So that means 66% of the people you're talking to, the agents that are calling you with referrals, literally have never seen a market like this in their whole career. Ever. Right. Never seen anything like it. All they've seen is listed, get it sold, gone, buy. Who cares? Go to any lender. I don't care. You're going to get a low rate. It doesn't matter. Right. So tell me what kind of conversations are you having with your referral partners? Tell us what you're saying. I'd love to hear how you're overcoming when the buyers are saying the rates are too high. I'm not trying to stack the questions on top of each other, but I know you're talking to people all day, every day. So share a little bit with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think a couple things, Joel, come to mind is a lot of times one thing I've learned is that when a buyer says that it's not a good time to buy, what they really want to talk about is why rates are so high. Okay. So they think, they automatically equate with rates being as high as it is this really a good time to buy, or should I be on the sidelines? Your question was, what are we talking to agents about? It's pretty much exactly what you just said. Is I'm saying the same thing. Is, Will, have you been in this? Have you ever seen a market like this? And everybody says, no, I've never seen a market like this. And one of the things that you've been saying to me that I've been saying right back to them is, guys, I need to talk to your buyers sooner. We need to talk about rates. We need to talk about what their options are, because right now there's a fair number of them that just don't think they can afford to buy, and they're wrong.
Yeah, the big thing here, John, and you're in an interesting market. Your market's pretty robust. The whole rent thing. I don't know about you all, but this whole all over the media. Oh, housing prices crashing. Nashville prices dropping 20%. I mean, whatever that means. You see any articles about rents dropping? Let me help you out, because they're not. Okay, so when you look at that real quickly, if you know how to use a calculator and a pen, and you know how to run numbers like us old people on this call do, you can very quickly debunk renting at about 4,000 miles an hour, even with a 7% 30-year fixed rate loan. It's pretty easy to get there really, really fast. And that is a big factor. And, John, I tell loan officers all the time, if you can't pencil sell, if you can't do this with a calculator and a pen, John is staring, I know, at HP 12C right now, calculator. If you can't do it with a calculator and a pen, man, you better watch out, because some other loan officer is going to eat your lunch. You need to make sure that you know how to do that quickly on the phone for people. John, are you having, your calls are way longer now, right? You feel like you're working harder, right? It's not like you're doing 20 pre-calls for the same buyer. Now it's a way longer phone call. Is that correct?
It's a way longer phone call with buyers, and it's much easier to get realtors on the phone to talk as well.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. Loan officers they're complaining and they're not doing the work. The same loan officers complaining, John, that they don't have anything to do are the same ones that are bouncing a potential buyer right literally into their automated app without even talking to them. By the way, everyone, if you do that, I suggest you stop now. Your automated app is like an igloo. It's real cold up in there. You send a buyer in there naked, which all of you do. Well, they shiver and usually tap out. Okay. The best loan officers would never do that. And if they do, they basically cut a window in their igloo and their hand is reaching through there helping people. There's also a coat rack. They're giving them a coat before they go in. What I mean by that is you need to talk to these people before you bounce them into that stuff, especially in this market, or it's not going to go well for you. Okay. If you don't, all they're going to do is go in there and freak themselves out and do it wrong anyway. I love when I'm doing crush groups and I'll ask the crush group, in the automated app, what percentage of the people get everything right every time? And all these people are like, oh yeah, Joel, they're great. And then I really go around and I ask everyone, okay? And it's like 15% of the people get it right. John Hodgkins question, how long are you talking to people right now? Sean Gaudreau just asked, like approximately how long is that conversation right now?
So just you're talking about the warm-up call, the Walmart greeter call?
Yeah, I think, let me see the question exactly. He put it in there. John, how long is your typical upfront pre-app conversation? Sean, just full disclosure, John is working the Joel program on the soft qual. So but it still applies, John, because I'm sure your soft qual is longer now than it has been.
The soft qual is longer. If there's so right now there's usually people are very interested in talking. Like today I had 3 of them and one guy was in a real hurry and it was 12 minutes. That was the short one. A longer one is 20 minutes. So it's somewhere between 12 and 20 minutes.
And so everybody, that's 12 and 20 before anyone sees, feels, or touches that automated app, whatever it's called at the company you work at. Okay. Literally, John's a GR. I don't know what they call that when they put them in there, but the bottom line is 12 to 20 minutes. Okay. And John has a very high conversion rate, meaning the amount of credit pulls he has versus what he closes is high. So if you think to yourself that that's a waste of time, you are thinking wrong, because there is another predatory loan officer out there waiting to take your business. John, saves. Talk to me about that. How many of those you seeing right now a week? Are you getting a phone call from an agent saying the loan officer screwed it up? Can you fix this?
I'm going to tell you that we, despite a little bit of a slowdown that we experienced in the month of September, saves seem to be 1 a week.
Okay, so 4 loans a month saves. What that means is, yeah, go ahead, John.
Joel, the only thing I want to say is it seems that there's 2/3 of the loan officers out there, maybe more, that are not staying in touch with their pre-approved database. And these are people that were pre-approved when rates were like 4%.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So loan officers have stuck their head in the sand and run because they're scared to talk to the people because the rates have gone up. The other thing is there's lots of loan officers just flat out don't know what they're doing, John. I'm sure you're seeing that when you're getting these safes and you're looking at them and going, wait, what? This is totally doable. Everyone needs to understand, man, if you're nuking loans right now, you're in big trouble because, again, one of these predatory loan officers, I see a bunch of them on the phone right now, they're going to be real happy to go to lunch with your referral partner, and it's not going to take them that long to really get all up in your business. So, this is a time now, and this is how I learned the business, and I always have to pick on Dunsky because he's old like me. This is how we learned the business. I mean, you knew what you were doing. You didn't wait for an underwriter to tell you what to do. You took the loan. You knew it was closing. It didn't need to be pre-approved. We used to look at people and go, you're pre-approved, because you looked at the docs and looked at everything and you knew they were going, with the exception of fraud. Man, if you're not rolling like that right now, you got to be very, very careful, because there's a lot of people out there, the good LOs. I'm a blessed guy. I work with lots of them. That's how they're rolling. I also work with a lot of very high volume real estate agents. And I will tell you, they are not trusting, if they normally have 7 deals a month and they have 5, they are not trusting those things to any jokers. They are making sure that their clients are with their preferred lender. That is what's going on right now. Hardcore, more than ever. John, are you finding when you're with the agents, is it still a lot of therapy? Or are they starting to come out of the funk and get busy? How is it in your market right now?
I'm looking for healthy realtors, not just healthy realtors, but they've got the right mindset. Every one of them that has said to me recently, John, despite what's being said out there, homes are still selling. I mean, if there's a home on the market and it's priced right, it's still moving. So the general attitude is, hey, if houses are continuing to sell, why? I will be busy. So there's a lot of optimism in our market.
Yeah, I think when you're talking to your partners right now, you should literally be. I had a loan officer say to me last week, I'm not going to say his or her name, Joel. Every B2B, B2B is just that Joel term for every B2B. These people, they're whining and complaining, and I feel like I have to sit there for 90 minutes and be their therapist. I'm like, yes, and what, you want someone else sitting there? I'm like, your job is to be a beacon of positivity. When I see these loan officers posting this crap on Facebook that's even remotely negative about rates or about the market, I want to fly where they are and throttle them, okay? Because that is not what we should be doing right now. We are a positive force. Listen, there's 4 million people that still want to buy houses. Come on. We want to do their loans. And these agents want to find them houses. So John, your people are becoming more and more positive as the market. I'm assuming you're seeing a little tick up as well. Is that what you're seeing in your market?
I'm seeing a little tick up. It's interesting you said this weekend. This weekend was like a normal weekend, where the prior 3-4 weekends have been just quieter. This weekend was as good a weekend as any weekend we've had with offers, and this was a good morning for contracts.
I'll tell you, something that someone said to me earlier. I don't know if he's on here right now. Said, Joel, I think some of these people, this is normal for them. Like, I'm talking to people that aren't asking me about 4% or 3%. It might have been Sean Gaudreau. He's nodding. They're not talking. They're like, okay, what's the rate? Okay. What's my payment? Okay, let's go. I want a house. Let's go. And the bottom line is, man, what a great time to buy a house right now. Sellers are paying concessions. The appraisals are coming in. I mean, we'll be able to play this one back. I'm telling you, in 2 or 3 months, the prices will be right back up with multiples. Sorry, John, I saw you about to say something.
Oh, no, I was agreeing with that.
Okay. All right. So John, you got a bunch of loan officers on here. I always am excited when people invest a half hour of their time to hang out with me, yelling and screaming. John, a little bit of advice for people that maybe, are in a funk. They're like, wow, they've had to maybe Airbnb their second home 24/7. No longer are they using it themselves. And maybe they handed in that Corvette lease that they picked up from all the refis. What would you say to some people on here that just need a swift kick in the rear end as far as getting going?
Yeah, I mean, what I would say, Joel, is, I mean, Sean Goudreau put out a good video a week or so ago about the topic of just when things are hard. I think that was really good. I think the thing that motivates or inspires me is that tough times have an ending. I mean, tough times don't go on forever. And I've got I'm fortunate, like I'm sure many of the people on this call are, is we have many positive people that are around us. Being around those people is really helpful. So like, I've written more in September. I tripled the best month I ever had in handwritten notes. I almost doubled my B2Bs in September of any other month. And so I'm doubling down. I've got more time right now to find new best friends and go deeper with people. And I'm believing that when I look at the number of homes that are available for sale, I know it's just a matter of time before things keep moving. So this is a great time to look at your systems, look at your processes. How much time are you spending on sales activity versus stuff that doesn't matter a bit? And staying and taking care of yourself, making sure that your mindset is clear, making sure that your key KPIs are legit and you're working them and you're inspecting what you expect.
That's good stuff. And that's from someone like I see a bunch of people on here right now that could just basically kick back and say, okay, I'll just wait this out and let's see what's going to happen. So this guy is all in. There's a bunch of all in people on this call right now. And I want all of you to understand, these all in people are all over the market right now. They are literally waiting for you to quit and go sell cars. They are waiting for loan officers to tap. They're literally just going to wait, and they're going to grind, and they're not going to stop. They're going to show up and not stop. Literally, they are not going to stop. They're not going to go away, which means you have to be working at least as hard as these women and gentlemen, at least as hard. Actually, if you want to take their business, you need to be working harder. Okay. But you just heard it right there. He's doubling down. One of the jokes, John, people that have worked with me for a long time is, if they're a righty, they have extremely large forearms and know where all the mailboxes are, and so, by the way, code for John writing those notes means he's been in front of people. He left that off, meaning he's just not writing notes to write them. It's because he was in front of people. And, email and texting is really basically dead. The phone and handwritten notes are really where it's at right now. Most email goes to junk. And at this point, I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting junk texts. I can't tell you how many, times I get a text at 11 o'clock at night, spam. I'm, sending it to the carrier as a spam text. John, when you look at the newer agents, do you have newer agents in your market that you're really seeing them just get down and grind, or are you seeing them tap out? What's the profile for every one of these newer agents, John? They got in 2020. I probably know some of these names with your group. I saw your cousin James on here a little bit ago. His handle, Little Jimmy. I know some of these people, and it's interesting. A lot of the newer people are tapping, and I'm seeing some of the newer people just triple down. Are you seeing, because they got a taste and then it went away, right?
I talk to the younger group of realtors about this all the time, because it seems like when I got into the business, the leading thing that an agent would use to talk about, how good they were in their experience was how many years they've been doing it. I'm really impressed with the young agent right now, the agent that hasn't been through it all. They seem to be looking for who the leaders are. They're collectively, the people in our market are staying positive. They're definitely challenged because their activity has not been their activity is not what it was even at the beginning of the month. But I see them working systematically. I see the collected people that I'm around, Joel, that are young agents are usually connected to somebody in the real estate community that I would consider to be a realtor and fundamentally sound. And they've got a really good mindset, and they're looking forward to very positive. They're looking forward to the market coming around, and they're just basically dialing in right now on things that are solving problems right now.
And let me tell you something, everyone, those of you that are working Joel plans here, those people will go to a B2B with you. They will go. They want to hear it. They want to soak it up. They want to do anything they can do to succeed and be standing there, and they are willing to hustle. Think about that taste that they got 20 and 2021, and then boom, the bottom falls out for them, and they're going, what just happened? They want to talk about it. They want to do the right activities. They are extremely loyal when it comes to referring people. You know, I tell loan officers all the time, if you got some coaching, and I don't know when you got it or whatever, if you got some coaching from some coach that told you to check how many houses people have sold, and then that's how you decide who you're going to talk to and who you're not, that is the worst advice ever in the history of the world, unless you're closing 40 loans a month right now. Okay, because that person that you blew off could be the next top producer, or maybe be the protege of a top producer that person could introduce you to. So if you have ever done that activity, I strongly suggest you stop doing that right now. You should not be deciding who you're going to talk to based on, you know, whether they sold 3 houses or 15 houses last year. Okay. That's different if someone's in referral status or part-time. That's very different. I'm talking about a full-time agent, especially the newer ones, because you just don't know who they know or what they know. So, John, I want to go back to something as we round on the 30 minutes right now that you said that was huge, that, John, I haven't really talked about on these calls. I mean, I talk about them in crush groups. John said he's getting a lot of people calling him that were pre-qualified by somebody else in the 4s, and the loan officer just disappeared. Like, they're not following up with them. They have nothing to do with it. So, you know, if you spend the inordinate amount of time that you all spend to get the referral from the agent, and then you let them go dormant, shame on you. That is bad business. Why would you want to spend all that time to get that person, talk to them, pre-qual them, run their credit, and then just let them die in a, well, in the old days, it was a real folder, but now in a virtual folder somewhere? Why would you ever want that to happen? And John, I have heard that from others, and it is absolutely amazing that people are not aggressively following up right now. Let me tell you something else. When agents have 3 deals instead of 5 deals, they want them all to go. So they want to work with a loan officer that is not going to stop, that is going to aggressively pursue to get all of those people, we'll call it, into a loan, so those agents can help them secure a house and get paid a commission. Okay, it's very important. If you are ball dropping or playing the game, oh, I called them once, they never called me back, you are not going to be long for the world, because there are guys like John Hodgkins and a whole bunch of other people I can see right now that are not making one phone call. Okay, those of you that know me have heard me say this many times: buy or die. I'm going to be in touch with you until you buy something or you're literally out of commission. Okay, because anyone can buy anything within 3 years. I mean, you can clean up a bankruptcy and clean up all kinds of stuff. Okay, but the bottom line is if you're referred to me by one of my partners, I'm not stopping, because that's like handing me a little gold nugget, and I appreciate it, and I'm going to stay on it. John, final words to the group, because it's 2:31 and I know you got to go. Any little more words of wisdom? You actually said a bunch of great stuff a little bit ago, but anything else you want to add?
I'm just going to do 2 things. Number one, I'm going to underscore what you just said. I just had a B2B this morning with the numbers wise on this particular team that I work with. This particular agent is the lowest of the low. I mean, she got her license in August of 2021. I met her at lunch today. Her husband is a really big time financial planner at it works with all the residents at UConn Health Center, and we're talking about this, And so this enormous possibility, she said, and by the way, he's got a couple questions for you about some of the residences who are in. And then she goes on to give me 2 referrals at the end of lunch. And I don't think we've closed 2 deals all year. So what you said about not knowing who you want to talk to, I right on that. And I've for a long time have been employing this pre-approval sales activity process. To sometimes I'm good at it and I get off it. Well, in this particular shift market, I've made the pre-approval stay in touch with the agents as well as with the buyers, but the action through the agents has been unbelievable. I have had a couple agents say to me, I didn't know these expired. Wow, John, I had no idea. And then I've had some people say to me, hey, John, I've got these buyers over here that their pre-approvals are expiring next month. What are some scripts that you can give me that can help move them over to you, because they're going to have to get pre-approved with their guy anyway. So this whole, through calling people and staying in touch with agents about the referrals that are pre-approved, that has been an enormous open door for more referrals and more business.
That's the essence of the BICPP system. Those of you that are in a crush group or have been through that know exactly what that is, and that is keeping all parties informed. John Hodgkins, thank you very much. It's 2:34 on the East Coast. Thank you, everyone, for spending some time with me. Again, 2 weeks from now, no call. I'm going to be on a plane. This call is recorded. It's on Facebook Live. It's on YouTube, LinkedIn, if you want to watch it again. And it will be up as a podcast very shortly. John, I will see you tomorrow in the Big Easy. See you all later, everybody. Thank you.